President has been at the forefront of this, and if I'm getting an opportunity to join his cabinet, we're going to push this to ensure that there's equity in terms of people getting opportunities, especially also people suffering with disabilities, and also our young men and women who can work. Honorable Caleb, Mheshimiwa Speaker, has made quite a few allegations, and I'm going to answer them one by one. And it's unfortunate that most of them are basic propaganda, but I'm going to prove so. Number one, the Oscar Foundation issue that happened was quite unfortunate. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
It doesn't come at the end. As a Kenyan who has sent a message that you took the former president of Machakos to launch a modern Dubai-like city. He's asking me to ask you, where is it?
Thank you. The Oscar Foundation issue, we had a security meeting in the morning, and I want this to go on record, and led by the head of public service then, police commissioner and others as a government spokesperson, and we agreed that this was a statement that was going to be issued. The president was briefed. I issued the statement because the legal practitioner and I think the DPP was preparing documents to be able to arrest and take them to court. Later on, after that statement, we heard about the murder or the shooting right outside Parliament of the people that we had also mentioned. So it was pretty unfortunate, and I had nothing to do with it. I was doing my job as agreed in a proper government system. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, you have traveled to the US, and like all houses of Parliament and Senate, when you go in as a freshman, and then you are a sophomore, and then you're a junior, and then you're a senior. So you start in the US system as a sophomore, you start at the bottom, and you work your way up, so you become now a senior senator, a senior document. So when we got the letter from the American Embassy about former President Obama coming to Kenya, the title was the Junior Senator of Illinois, which in the US is actually a positive. It means you're not a freshman, you're not a sophomore, and that you're nearly a senior, that you have graduated, you're actually high in rank. You're not a junior. You're not, you know what I mean? So you're the junior senator, and that's the American system. And I studied in the US myself, and that's a system even when you enter university. You're a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior. And so when we issued a statement referring to the letter of the Americans talking about the junior senator of Illinois who visited, you look at my statement, that is how we were mentioning his title, and that is the title he had. It was nothing to do with demeaning Obama, who we believed in. It had nothing to do with the comments. It said it was basically his title. You are a majority leader, you're a speaker, you're a minority leader. That's how it's a title that he had at that particular time. Number three, you asked about Cobra Squad. Cobra Squad was a personal initiative, very successful. I want to say that I bought my house in Nairobi with proceeds from Cobra Squad, and went on to produce many other shows like Beba Beba, which I think you've seen it, and many other shows that my company still produce and do other things. And Cobra Squad was very successful even across Africa. Even today, I still get royalties from it being shown in Zambia, Tanzania, and many other countries. During our second season, after the end of our second season, one of our main actors unfortunately died in the fire that engulfed the former Nakumat that was at Moi Avenue. And it was felt that we could not continue with the third season after that tragedy. And that is how we stopped Cobra Squad, out of respect for the death of one of our workers. So, Mheshimiwa Caleb, it was not a failure, it was a success. Big success, but also we are people with a heart. About Kazi kwa Vijana and the tree planting and the organization, I took the former town clerk Gakuo, together with some colleagues to Dubai to look at how to beautify our country and the national parks. And I remember spending so much time planting trees in the streets of Nairobi. I even count some of the trees I personally planted right here on Harambee Avenue. and over here. And we started an initiative to plant trees and beautify. Now, a decision was made that there will be an expressway, the existing expressway that is there, and that the trees on Uhuru Highway, because the expressway was going to pass on top, had to be removed to allow for the expressway, and so that we have short bushes and brushes. And that was what was going on. It had nothing to do with cutting down the environment. We were planting many more trees and reorganizing many other things. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to go on record.
Something. Just a small point of order. You said you went to Dubai to see how to beautify a city. Dubai doesn't have any trees. It's a concrete jungle. So how did you learn that from Dubai?
We found that in Dubai, they have one of the best parks in the world with very big trees and amazing flowers and beauty that you can't believe it grows in a desert. And the challenge was, if it can grow in a desert, if this can grow in a desert, if you've been to Dubai, you've seen, you know, what they're able to do with the trees on the sideline, the palm trees and the forest. Then you understand, if you can do it in a desert, what about in a place where it rains more than the desert? And that was the lesson that was learned. Now, when it comes to my success in Machakos, I bought ambulances in Machakos that cut down the time it took from a person from being taken to hospital from the half an hour to 2 hours on a boda to 1 to 2 to 3 minutes. When you call an ambulance in Machakos during my tenure, it took 3 to 5 minutes. We had one of the fastest, if not the fastest, response rate in the continent of Africa. Very successful. And it was so successful that I was even given an award in Africa as the best governor in the continent of Africa. And the ambulances are still there in Machakos. And they are extremely successful. And the health system that I set up in Machakos, including building the first cancer ward, the cancer center, which treated people free of charge when you have cancer, to show that you don't have to have money to continue, has been quite successful. My track record in Machakos is known all over this country, and all you need to do is just visit Machakos when I was governor, and you could see the things that we did, the roads that we built, the markets that we established, the stadiums that we put together, and you'll be able to see the track record. There are naysayers, people in the opposite.
Yes, Nelson.
I don't know what's happening with Honorable Mbui and Honorable Mule. Is it something they know? Because they are laughing sheepishly.
Why are you giggling?
Or politics of Ukabani.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't want to make any comment, but I was member of Parliament of Kadhiani, which is in Machakos, when the Honorable Mutua was governor. And I mean, this is sounding like a movie.
Mr. Speaker, you know,
Go on.
When I worked
Go on from where you left.
Yes, when I worked in Machakos, I did amazing things like build the People's Park, the ambulances, and there was a big opposition. And because I was talking and doing things that they only see in movies, they even started calling me Mtu wa Cinema, because they only see it in movies. And the people of Machakos were so happy, regardless of their campaigning against me, that they re-elected me for a second term. Very, very successful. And I beat them hands down, actually. And so I would challenge, Mr. Speaker, the people of Machakos who benefited. In actual fact, Mr. Speaker, there's a small problem happening in Machakos right now. And that is that I was approached by the officer in charge of registration when I was completing my term, and said that there's going to be a problem because a lot of children being born in Machakos are now called Alfred Mutua. But I said they are not mine. And they said it's because most of them now are born in ambulances that you put into place. Because before, in Machakos now you don't find children called Nzilani because they're born by the side of the road, you know, or others, because now people have that dignity. Moving on to the question of the squeezing of my hand, Mheshimiwa Ruto later introduced me to Mheshimiwa Nyonyi from